मेरा नाम रचना नौटियाल, B.Sc सेकेंड ईयर स्टूडेंट्स के लिए एक नया टॉपिक लेकर के आई हूँ, विच इज द मसल्स and for muscles, types of muscles, I'll try structure of skeletal muscles and muscle protein. So a little bit about the muscles. Brief introduction. Muscles is a soft tissue found in most animals. We all know that muscles are the soft parts which are present or which are available, which are found in our body. These cells contain protein filaments that slide past one another, producing a contraction that changes both the length and the shape of the cell. Actually, what happens, these cells, they have some protein filaments, and the movement of that filament among themselves, it gives a contraction, and which actually changes the length and the shape of the cell. Muscle function to produce force and motion. They are primarily responsible for maintaining and changing postures, locomotion, as well as movement of internal organs. What we can do, or we can move from one place to another place, or means we can change our postures, or we can change our hands, or move our hands, our legs and our head, whatever we are able to move in our body is only through the movement, muscles movements. So, such as the contraction of the heart and the movement of food through the digestive system via peristalsis. It is all done by the muscles. The term muscle is derived from the Latin word that means musculus, meaning little mouse. Perhaps because of the shape of the certain muscles, or because contracting muscles look like mice moving under the skin. Maybe it is a Latin word actually from where it is derived, the term muscle, and maybe the movement of the muscle under the skin, it looks like a mice or which is moving around. So hence the name was given by for this is muscle. The anatomy of muscles includes gross anatomy, which comprises all the muscles of an organism, and microanatomy, which comprises the structure of a single muscle. When we say gross anatomy, that means we are talking about all the muscles of an organism, and when we say that the single muscle, that means it is a microanatomy. This is the one view of the body where we can see the different muscles which are all present on our body, on our hands, on our chest part. These are the leg regions. There you can see the quadriceps femoris, the highest means the strongest muscle in our body, and then there are these are for on the femurs, and this tibialis, which is on the tibia, and the other we can say biceps brachii, which are on on our biceps, and these are all various kinds of the muscles which are found all over the body. This is the anterior view of the body, and this is the posterior view. You can see the back part of our body, and here there are so many muscles which are all along our the different parts of the body. The next, a little bit detailed information about the muscles. Muscles are predominantly powered by the oxidation and carbohydrates. So mainly they are empowered by the oxidation and carbohydrates, but anaerobic chemical reactions are also used, particularly by fast twitch fibers, which are the fast moving muscles in our body. So means with that or by that movement, the anaerobic chemical reactions are being done in our body. These chemical reactions produce adenosine triphosphate, means ATP molecules, which are used to power the movement of the myosin heads. So actually these chemical reactions, they are responsible to produce the ATP molecules, and with these ATP molecules, which are the energy producing molecules, the movement of the myosin heads. Myosin is the protein which is found on the muscles. The movement of the muscle is possible. Then further, Muscle tissues are the soft tissues and derived from the mesodermal layer of embryonic germ cells in the process known as myogenesis. So, the formation of or the production of the muscles is called as the myogenesis, and they are the soft tissues in our body, and they are derived from the mesodermal layer of embryonic germ cells. One more important thing is that muscle tissue is one of the 4 fundamental types of tissue present in our animals. So they are among the these 4 fundamental types of the tissues. Muscle is one among them. The next, the muscular system consists of all the muscles present in a single body. Means in consolidated way we say that it is a muscular system, and there are approximately 650 skeletal muscles in the human body. The muscular system is one component of the musculoskeletal system. It is the 2 systems, muscular and the skeletal systems. So this is the one component of this joint system, which is the muscular system, and this includes not only the muscles but also the bones, joints, tendons and other structures that permit movement. Then these are the different kinds of the muscles. There are 3 types of muscles: skeletal muscles, cardiac muscles and the smooth muscles. Their actions can be classified as being either voluntary or involuntary. We all know that when we wish, we can move our body muscles. That is a voluntary movement, and when it is not in our conscious state, or when it is not in our control, then there are some movements in our body, they are under the involuntary movements. So the actions can be classified as being either voluntary or involuntary. Cardiac and smooth muscles contract without conscious thought and are termed involuntary, while the skeletal muscle movements, they come under the category voluntary movements. So these are the different photographs of the different kinds of muscles. You can see the difference in between the these all 3 types of the muscles, the structural difference, hence the functional difference. Then these a little bit more information about all these all these kind of movement muscles is the skeletal muscles, or as I said, voluntary muscle, is anchored by tendons to bone and is used to effect skeletal movements. Yes, the skeletal movements, as they are voluntary movements, they are under our control. They are anchored by the tendons to the bones and is used to effect skeletal movements such as locomotion and in maintaining postures. An average adult male is made up of 42% of skeletal muscles, and an average adult female is made up of 36% of the skeletal muscles as a percentage of the total body mass. This is the figure in comparison with that. Now the other kind of muscle, which is the smooth muscle or the involuntary muscle, is found within the walls of organs and structures such as the esophagus, stomach, intestines, bronchi, uterus, urethra, bladder, blood vessels and the erector pili in the skin, in which it controls the erection of the body here. Unlike skeletal muscles, smooth muscles is not under conscious control. They are the involuntary muscles. And then third type of muscles, which are the cardiac muscle, is also an involuntary muscle but is more akin, similar in structure to skeletal muscles, and is found only in the heart. Next, these all 3 types of muscles, which are skeletal, cardiac and smooth, have significant differences structurally as well as the functionally. However, all 3 use the movement of actin, which is a protein in the muscles, against myosin, again a different kind of protein. All these 2 are found in muscles. In our further in slides, I have explained all these kind of proteins. So however, all 3 use of movements of actin against myosin to create contraction. In skeletal muscles, contraction is stimulated by electrical impulses transmitted by the nerves of the motor neurons, the motor nerves in particular, which is a part of our nervous system. So the skeletal the skeletal movements, it is governed by the motor nerves in particular, while the cardiac and smooth muscles contractions are stimulated by internal pacemaker cells. They have their own pacemaker cells, and which regularly contract and propagate contractions to other muscle cells they are in contact with. They, in continuation with in between themselves, they pass on their contractions to the other muscles which they have. So all skeletal muscle and many smooth muscle contractions are facilitated by the neurotransmitter acetylcholine. This is a chemical through which is actually responsible for the contractions, which acts to produce the contraction. So this is an alpha structure of the skeletal muscles. We can see here that this is the bone, and these are the tendons through which this structure, which is the skeletal muscle structure, is attached or is joined or is found attached with the bone part. And here we can see that this is a bunch of the muscles, and this whole structure is called as the this is a muscle bundle, and there are hundreds and hundreds of muscle fibers are in this bundle, and they are grouped together with the separate fascicles. They are called as the fascicles, and in this and this is actually the ectodermal layer or the outermost covering of this muscle, which is known as the epimysium, and with internally with this epimysium there are the bundles of the muscle fibers which are called as the fascicles, and these fascicles, they have these muscle fibers, and the layer or the internal layer is called as the endomysium, and the layer which covers this or which encircled this fascicle is called as the perimysium. So this is a very preliminary view of skeletal muscles. A little bit more description about this. Skeletal muscles are sheathed by a tough layer of connective tissue called the epimysium. As I have said here, this is the epimysium. And then the epimysium anchors muscle tissues to tendons at each end. It is seen there in this picture. Yes, these are the tendons, and then the epimysium anchors muscle tissues to tendons at each end, where the epimysium becomes thicker and collagenous. It also protects muscles from friction against other muscles and bones. Again, this tendon protects the muscles, the nearby muscle to touch with this, and or the friction in between these two different kind of muscles. So again, this is the main function, and to give support to this muscle with the bone. Again, it is a function of this tendon. Then within the epimysium are multiple bundles called fascicles, as I have told you, each of which contains 10 to 100 or more muscle fibers collectively, sheathed by a perimysium. Besides surrounding each fascicle, the perimysium is a pathway for nerves. We can see here that these are the nerve pathways, all these, and the blood pathways, and the nerves and the flow of blood within the muscles. The thread-like muscle fibers are the individual muscle cells, myocytes, and each cell is encased within its own endomysium of collagen fibers. Thus, the overall muscle consists of fibrous cells and are bundled into fascicles, which are themselves grouped together to form muscle. So these all fascicles, they are actually grouped together and form muscles. Scattered throughout the muscles are muscle spindles that provide sensory feedback information to the central nervous system. Actually, throughout the muscles, there are the spindles, muscle spindles. Actually, they are connected with the central nervous system, and hence the action is done. This is an alpha structure of muscle. It is very much clear here. We can see this is the body of a human being, and these are the muscles. If we see it is from here, this part, and these are the muscles, and these are the tendons through which they are attached with the bones. And if I take a small part of this muscle, it will look like this, and with this, these are the fascicles and bundles of muscle fibers, and from one fascicle, if I select one fiber, then it is a connective tissue, and there this way, this is coming down, this is the muscle fiber, and this muscle fiber is all surrounded by the sarcoplasmic reticulum. It is here, and this is a nucleus which is found here, and this is sarcolemma. This is all sarcolemma or plasma membrane. Now from this muscle fiber, if I select one sarcomere, this is one number of sarcomeres in one muscle fiber. Now I am going to explain you what is actually the sarcomere, and how it it is helpful in the muscle contraction, or how it works, or how it functions during the muscle contraction. So this is all about a single structure, or the number of the sarcomeres in a muscle fiber. These are different zones. A little bit more description is there in my next slide. So this is sarcoplasmic reticulum. This is actually this one is the sarcoplasmic reticulum, a more important part of the during the muscle contraction. The sarcoplasmic reticulum is a network of membranes that passes through the muscle cells. It is a communication with a network of membranes called the T-tubule cells. So there is a network of these T-tubule systems in the sarcoplasmic reticulum. So yes, upon receiving the appropriate message from the T-tubules, it can change its permeability to calcium. So this is what actually the T-tubules give message to the sarcoplasmic reticulum, so that it is able to change its permeability to the calcium ions. So an important transmembrane protein of the sarcoplasmic reticulum is the calcium ATPase. This membrane functions is the transport of calcium into and out of the sarcomere. Hence, this sarcoplasmic reticulum it plays an important role in the calcium ions into and out of the sarcomere, and hence the muscle contraction, because it is all through it is only through the sarcomere which is through which the muscle contraction can be done or is done in a body. This sarcoplasmic reticulum is able to control contraction in a muscle cell by controlling the concentration of calcium in the cell. Yes, it is there. This control is coordinated through the T-tubule family and is coordinated by nerve impulses. It is a summary of that. Now this is a little more descriptive view of the muscle fiber. This is a myofibril or a muscle fiber showing sarcomere structure. So this is a sarcomere structure. There are number of sarcomeres in one muscle fiber, as I have told you. Now what are the different parts of sarcomere? S means the sarcomere. So this S, this one is the description of one sarcomere. This, from this part to this part is one sarcomere. Again, from this to this one is the other sarcomere, and a number of sarcomeres are attached with each other in a muscle fiber. So this one is S, and this is a sarcomere. Now unit of muscle function. Now mind it, it is a unit of muscle function, sarcomere. Now A means is this part, only up to this region, which is the darker one, is the region of myosin, thick muscles, thick muscle protein. This is myosin, a very thick muscle protein. Then I band is the region of actin. Region of actin, again a protein in muscle, and which is a thin filament of the protein. This is a thick filament of protein which is called as myosin, and this is an actin protein. Now H zone, H is a zone, region of just myosin. This is the more just myosin. Then Z line, Z line is the boundary of one sarcomere boundary. It starts from here and ends here, one sarcomere. Then M line sarcomere in center. M line, this is the sarcomere in center, which is the myosin region. So a little bit more description. We can see here actin, thin filament. This is the dark band, which is the myosin. This is one sarcomere, one myofibril. This is cytoplasmic reticulum, and this is one muscle fiber. So this is the difference in between the various terms which are used in muscular system or in the muscle. Again, a little bit more descriptive. Sarcomere. This is one sarcomere, another sarcomere. These are thin filaments. These are the thick filaments. This middle one are the thick filaments. They look like this. And the thin filaments. These are the thin filaments. They look like this. So single chains, double chains, like this way. And titin and nebulin, they are the other proteins which are found in the sarcomere. So arrangement of muscle proteins into a contractile unit known as sarcomere. A sarcomere is nothing except the arrangement of various different muscle proteins into a contractile unit, which is going to be contract. The function of that unit is only to contract and retract. So that is the sarcomere. Thick filaments are composed of myosin, I have told you, and thin filaments are composed of actin. That is again another protein, tropomyosin and troponin respectively. These are again the further two protein molecules which are found in the sarcomere. Now next, this is a very I have a bigger picture or a more detailed view. You can see again these are the myosin, these are the darker bands. They are the, this is A band which is a myosin band, and these are the actin thin filaments are the. So how the arrangement is there? Alternately they are found, they are present in a sarcomere. One thin filament, then this is a thick filament, then again thin filament of actin, this is thick filament of myosin, then again thin filament of actin or titin. These are the smaller ones in the very feeble, very minute lines are there, which are the titin of the titin, and these are the another proteins which are found here. So this is the arrangement of the actin and myosin, the main protein molecules, main protein in a sarcomere, and how they are arranged, how they are placed alternately with each other. So that is the main view of the picture to explain you. Then next, a little bit more the granular, how the coarse structures they are, how the light structures they are. So these are the actin and these are the myosin. So you can see the thick part and the thin part, means the arrangement of the different molecules in a different fashion, how they are different, they are means very sparsely they are present, they are very condensedly they are present, and the size of the molecules is there, the different sizes are there, a single size is there, the single size is there, but the smaller size, this is the bigger size. So this is the molecular dispersal of the at the molecular level, dispersal of the different cells in the sarcomere. Then what actually the ATP plays a role in the muscular contraction, and how it functions, how it from where it comes, and means what is the overall effect of the muscles and the ATP. It is slightly I have tried to give you a little bit information. Muscular activity accounts for much of the body's energy consumption. We all know that it is needed for the energy. All muscle cells produce ATP molecules which are used to power the movement of the myosin heads. Actually, it is the ATP molecule which is used to power the movement of myosin heads. Now muscles conserve energy in the form of creatine phosphate, which is generated from ATP and can regenerate ATP when needed with creatine kinase. So it is hence it is generated from ATP, stored, and then when it is needed, it can be created or regenerated from the creatine kinase. Muscles also keep a storage form of glucose in the form of glycogen. Again, from the glycogen, again it can be converted into the glucose and energy can be obtained. Then muscle cells also contain globules of fat which are used for energy during aerobic exercises. Again, fat is also used to get energy for the muscular contraction during aerobic exercises. The aerobic energy systems provide significantly more ATP than anaerobic glycolysis. Obviously, aerobic energy systems, they produce more ATP as compared with the anaerobic systems, and cardiac muscles on the other hand can readily consume, very fastly consume any of the three macronutrients whichever is there, protein, glucose and fat, aerobically. The heart, liver and red blood cells will also consume lactic acid produced and excreted by skeletal muscles during exercises. So this is the overall view which is showing that how the different particles or how the different the macronutrients, protein, glucose and fat, they are responsible to liberate or to give or to excrete or to generate the ATP molecule for the muscular contraction. Now something about the muscle proteins, a very important part of the muscle. Muscle is unique in a number of ways. Our fibers of muscles are made up of a number of different proteins arranged in a very specific manner. As I have told you that it is actually a combination of different proteins whose function is just to contract. So arrangement of those proteins is in a very specific manner is all about the muscles. The appearance of the majority of muscles used for food is characterized by the presence of a number of relatively light and dark filaments. So we can see here number of light and dark, these are the dark bands and the light bands, again for the myosin and the actin. The relationship between muscle cells, fibers and myofibrils is shown in here. We have all gone through with this. These are the muscle cells and muscle fibers and then myofibrils. Then the most important proteins for the muscle, they are the myosin and the actin. Myosin makes up approximately 45 to 50% of the contractile proteins. As I have said, they are the most contributed proteins of the muscles, means they contribute at the most percentage. They are the part of the muscles. Its properties includes molecular weight 520 000 and composed of 6 polypeptides. So how complicated it is that 6 polypeptide chains they are forming the myosin molecule. The tail regions of myosin provide structure, while an ATPase activity as well as an actin binding reside in the head region of the molecule. Actually, with that actin binding part of that myosin protein is all helpful during the contraction among the actin and myosin filaments in a coordinated manner. A portion of the tail region is responsible for the association of myosin molecules with dense cells. Hundreds of associated myosin molecules make up the thick filaments found in muscles. So we can see here the thickness of the myosin molecules which are forming the muscles here. Then actin is a roughly globular protein with a molecular weight of approximately 46,000 called G-actin. Again, this is much lighter as compared with the myosin molecule. And they are the thin filaments and myosins are the thick filaments. In the presence of ATP, G-actin causes hydrolysis of the ATP and aggregates into a double helical structure called F-actin, having a molecular weight of approximately 14 000. F-actin can interact with troponin and tropomyosin. Again, the two major proteins in muscles, the bound ADP can interact with the head units of myosin. The interaction of actin with myosin can lead to motion in muscles. That is what I have told you, that it is actually in a coordinated manner the interaction takes place and the contraction finally is done. Then the two more major proteins which are found in the muscles other than the myosin and the actin are the tropomyosin and the troponin. Two other proteins associated with the actin to form the thin filaments, they are the tropomyosin and the troponin. They are associated with actin. It is important to note. Tropomyosin is composed of two polypeptides, A and B tropomyosin. Together they make up from 5 to 8% of the myofibril protein. They make up only up to 5 to 8% of the myofibril protein. These polypeptides aggregate to form long filaments that fit within the groove formed by the two chains of actin. This is the way they are attached with the actin. Each molecule spans 7 actin molecules and controls the reactivity of these actin molecules. Troponin is made up of 3 subunits. Troponin C contains a calcium binding domain. Troponin T interacts with tropomyosin, and troponin I can block the actin binding site for myosin. Hence, these are the different subunits of the troponin, and one set of 3 troponin subunits is associated with each molecule of tropomyosin and is involved with the activity of 7 actin molecules. These are the other proteins in muscles which actually are in a very small concentration. They are, but again they are important in for various purposes. Alpha-actinin is composed of 2 subunits and is found in the Z line. Alpha-actinin. Beta-actinin is made up of 2 proteins and is found at the end of the thin filaments. It has been suggested that B-actinin helps to control the length of the thin filaments. So again, the beta-actinin is responsible for the length of the thin filaments. Then myomectin is the major component of the M line. It has been suggested that its role is to ensure proper alignment of the thick filaments. Myomectin is again for the proper alignment. So how they are important? Just in the arrangement of the different muscular proteins all along with the muscles or in a fiber. Desmin is a normal component of the cytoskeleton of the cell. They may serve to connect adjacent sarcomeres. Desmin for the connection in between the sarcomeres. Titin is the 10% of the total sarcomere protein. It can interact with myosin, A-actinin and M-line proteins and is thought to have a role in determining the length of the sarcomere. So again, titin is for the length of the sarcomere. Then last, nebulin makes up about 5% of the total protein. It has many actin binding sites and is thought to have determined the length of the thin filaments. It is important just because it has many actin binding sites. Then a general view about the muscle protein. The total amount of muscle proteins in mammals including man exceeds that of any other protein. They are the most prominent, among the most prominent proteins in the body. About 40% of body weight of a healthy human adult weighing about 70 kilograms, 150 pounds is muscle. So this is the composition, or this is the part which is actually plays a role in weight of a healthy human adult is the 40%, the 70 kilograms of a human adult, which is composed of about 20% muscle protein. Now for this 40% of body weight of muscle is about 20% is the muscle protein. Thus, the human body contains about 5 to 6 kilograms of muscle protein. An albumin-like fraction of these proteins, originally called myelin, contains various enzymes which are the phosphorylase, aldolase and glyceraldehyde phosphate dehydrogenase. So these are the different again the proteins. The globulin fractions contains myosin, the contractile protein, which also occurs in blood platelets, some small bodies found in blood. So this is a little bit more about addition about the muscle proteins. Then strong muscles, it is I am here just to give the little bit idea about the different muscles which are found in our body, what they are actually. Muscular strength usually refers to the ability to exert a force on an external object. In that way, lifting a weight, by this definition, the masseter or jaw muscle is the strongest muscle in our body. If it is associated with the ability to exert a force on an external object, then it is the masseter or jaw muscle in our body. And if its strength refers to the force exerted by the muscle itself, by this definition, the strongest muscle of the body is usually said to be the quadriceps femoris or the gluteus maximus. It is the muscle on femur, and this is the hip muscle. Actually, if it is the means in itself, if we say the strength in a muscle, then these muscles are the strongest muscle in our body. Then the myometrial layer of the uterus may be the strongest muscle by weight in a female human body. Then other muscles. The external muscles of the eye are conspicuously large and strong in relation to the small size. Eyes are very small in the body, but weight of the eyeball. It is frequently said that they are the strongest muscles for the job they have to do, and are sometimes claimed to be 100 times stronger than they need to be. They are supposed to be not to be strong, but they are, and 100 times more stronger than what they need to be or what they should to be. So the statement that the tongue is the strongest muscle in the body appears frequently in the list of surprising facts. Note that the tongue consists of 8 muscles, not 1. There are over and all 8 muscles which are found in a tongue. So that in that way it is the strongest muscle in the body. The heart has a claim to being the muscle that performs the largest quantity of physical work in the course of a lifetime. That means since birth till death. That the heart muscles, they work, and any other muscle, they do not work in that way, that they are working throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the years and throughout the life. It is the only heart muscle which is actually working the largest quantity of physical work and in the course of lifetime. Thank you so much. Thank you.